An SEC head coach just inadvertently exposed the entire fatal flaw of the plan of the SEC, the Big Ten, and all the big brands in college football. Didn't even mean to do it, but totally did. Totally did. Masterplan's been exposed, you guys. I was scrolling, like I usually do. I'm better about it these days than I used to be. But we still all, I think, generally scroll a little bit too much on our phones. But I came across a clip. It was just getting roasted by college football fans and media alike. And the man at the mic was Eli Drinkwitz, head coach at Mizzou, speaking of Tiger Board. And that is not an uncommon occurrence that Eli Drinkwitz draws the ire of other fans. He's good at being a troll. I mean, I think a lot of times he knows he's doing that. Other times he's just kind of generally being goofy. His personality is one that attracts a lot of reaction, and he's good at eliciting reaction. This time, he was not really going for trolling or being a punching bag. This is about he clearly deeply believes this. And it's an opinion that he really wants to push because he pushed it at SEC Media Days. Now he was doing it on Marty and McGee. And his opinion is that he wants 30 teams in the college football playoff. Forget 16. Forget expanding to 16. He wants 30 teams in the college football playoff. That's an opinion that seems to be even less popular than Tony Petitti and the Big Ten stance on like, hey, let's do multiple auto bids. This time, Drinkwitz elaborated a little bit more. Okay, so if you want to know what Eli Drinkwitz had to say, have a listen here.
Is it going to be best long-term for the fans in 5 years, in 10 years, that only 12% of college football is involved in a playoff? No, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be sustainable. There's 136 Division I playing football teams in college football. How do we give them the most access? And if I'm in the SEC and you're telling me, hey, what's the easiest path? An automatic, you have to win the SEC to make the playoff, or you have to be in a beauty pageant? Well, I'm not into beauty pageants. I'd rather play it on the football field. And as a competitor, I can lay my head on the pillow and say, hey, I had a chance. I had an opportunity. I'm not going to be able to lay my head on the pillow and say, I couldn't get in front of the committee and convince the jury of my peers to put me in the playoffs. It's ridiculous.
Okay, well, look, on some level, I mean, the part at the end about the committee, the committee can definitely be frustrating. You think many people in Tallahassee 2 years ago were laying their head down on their pillow very nice and easily after they got snubbed for Alabama. But, dude, if we're going to 16, at that point, if you're from the SEC and you're not making it into a 16-team playoff, you probably have 4 losses. And if you have 4 losses, that's not going to be about a beauty pageant. That's about win more games, dude. And the point that's really getting roasted, not just that part, but people are really like, hey, man, really what you're talking about is just that you need to go win. He says a lot about like we need college football playoff games on campus. That was another part of the quote that was going around. And people are like, yeah, dude, we have basically playoff games on campus. They're called November regular season games. They're great. They're amazing. They're great environments. Go win those games. So, I agree with a lot of the criticism there. I don't want a 30-team playoff at all. We're already so far away. From what college football used to be. I saw a post earlier today or a tweet that was about Florida State and how many great teams they had in the early 90s that could have won championships but didn't because they had one little slip up in the regular season and it cost them. And that used to matter in college football, and we have come a long way from that. That is not accurate anymore. Okay. So I'm here for all I don't like that opinion from Eli Drinkwitz. I appreciate that. I mean, he's defending it pretty fervently, but it feels a lot like a guy who's like, hey, I want to be able to go 8-4 and make the playoff. Okay. And I don't think anybody really wants a product that's that watered down. But here's what everybody's missing from this. Okay. What's happening there is an SEC program and an SEC head coach is being like, dude, I don't want to get left out. Like, I don't want to get left out of the playoff. Like, I am an SEC school. I lead an SEC school. It should be my birthright that I get into the playoff. And we're going to have a bunch of big name coaches and big name programs that get left out of the playoff every year. And they're going to be really upset about that. That's essentially what he is saying. And this is exactly the point that I and many others have made about where this sport is going long term, that is going to produce diminishing returns on wherever it winds up. College football season is here, guys, and that means we all need to find good deals on tickets. All right. And the best place to do that is SeatGeek. I have to give a huge shout out to SeatGeek, the sponsor of today's video. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek. So obviously, college football is covered. But if you're a music guy like me, it's perfect for concerts. I'm buying a ton of concert tickets this fall. And I tell you what, I have my eye on those Holy War tickets for BYU and Utah coming up as well. And man, all you got to do is open up the app. It's perfect. You can go check what's going on here, find the green dots in the seat. That means they're good deals. Red dots, maybe not so much, but SeatGeek will help you find the best deals on seats depending on where it is that you are trying to sit. They're each rated on a scale of 1 to 10. Every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you guys know I'm here for you. I've got a code for you. Code Kurtz gets you $20 off your tickets. Again, that's code Kurtz for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. $20 off your first purchase with promo code Kurtz. Make sure you just click the link in the description to download the app and have that code on hand and ready to go. Guys, I'm here to help you out. I've got your back. Hit up my friends at SeatGeek. Super League or just AFC, NFC with the Big Ten and the SEC. You're going to have so many big brands condensed in there because even if it's the latter and you're doing AFC, NFC, you will be adding Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina. You'll be adding those schools into those conferences that already have so many big time schools and brands there. There will be so many that mathematically it will be impossible for many of them to be satisfied. Like mathematically, it will force schools into having losing seasons that are big brands accustomed to winning. And what you'll get is a lot of Nebraskas and Oklahomas. And so what Eli Drinkwitz is like sounding the alarm on is like, hey, if we keep going this way, and instead of breaking out these nice like regionalized conferences where you could have an Oklahoma win the Big 12 a lot of years and be happy as a program, instead of going 500 in the SEC and being despondent, yeah, a lot of fan bases are going to get really upset and check out because they're not going to be able to compete because we have condensed too many brands and we will eat each other up and spit each other out. And that's going to reduce long-term interest in the sport, among many other things that would obviously happen in that scenario with how many people you'd be cutting out. But like, I just had to laugh. I was like, man, Drinkwitz basically with this point is like really making the point that we're going to be in trouble here because we'll have too many fan bases checked out. And I want to scream at him like, yeah, well, tell your commissioner to chill out on everything that he is doing and tell him to tell the Big Ten commissioner to chill out on everything that he is doing, his buddy, his partner in crime, Tony Petitti, because all you're going to do is get your schools in this position where like, yeah, that will be an issue, man. That will be a huge issue. Great comment from Bracket Cat. Yeah, maybe think of that back in 2011, Mizzou, before you joined the SEC. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Red Wine, I mean, look, I think the point is, have you been happy as a Nebraska fan for the last 15 years? Yes or no? Have you been happy as a Nebraska fan for the last 10 or 15 years? It's been a miserable existence, man. You guys as a program with national championship history have been, I mean, arguably like a bottom 5 to 10 Power 5 program. That's the point I'm making. I'm not making any point about what may or may not happen this year. But Oklahoma, short-term example, Nebraska, long-term example of programs that have floundered in bigger conferences. What's going to happen if you start, Auburn, like I made the point about Auburn, they're already as crazy as they are now. If you plug up the SEC with even more big brands there and put them in that Super League, dude, Auburn fans are going to go, they'll be firing a guy after week 4 instead of every other season. So you will have a lot of issues with schools, their satisfaction, the engagement of fan bases, and that will affect the long-term viability of this thing. Just as Drinkwitz is trying to make the case that it will lead to that right now, which if you keep the conferences at least as it is right now, I mean, it still seems viable enough. But yeah, I mean, there will be these types of issues that you're going to have to deal with, unless the way you can angle away from all that, not have to worry about all that, is if you go to a Project Rudy type of model. Okay. If you go to a Project Rudy type of model, don't need to worry about any of this. Bring everybody back to regionalized conferences, play old rivals again. not have it be completely condensed and packed with conferences full of too many big brands and just like bloated schedules where everything's, the other point he's making about a beauty contest. What's really hard for a committee to decipher is when everybody plays freaking unbalanced schedules that are unbalanced as hell because of how many teams are in every league. Like, it's literally impossible to not give some schools a total advantage, just a kiss of a schedule every year. So yeah, man. I mean, it just to me was like so, and I don't really blame Drinkwitz for that. He's not the one making all of those decisions at a high level. But to me, it was just so funny and emblematic of like what college football is right now, where it's at, where it's like you've got a coach going off on this and not even realizing, at least I don't think, not even realizing like the irony of what it is that he's saying about the issues with everything. So